the arts sort of open a door for different learners.
The art angle gives them this buy-in. You know, they don't necessarily want to communicate the intricacies of the Magna Carta, but they would like to communicate a story that they want to tell, and they have a motivation to tell it well.
I want them to be makers, creators. I want them to have made something out of nothing.
The Artists in Education program is a project of the New Jersey State Council on the Arts and Young Audiences New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania, and the goal is to put professional teaching artists in classrooms throughout the state for a long-term, in-depth arts learning residency.
We found that our students had a very strong interest in graphic novels, and it was promoting our literacy program by incorporating graphic novels into the ELA program. And I saw that there's a direct connection to the art program, but I'm not a graphic novelist, so we chose to invite an expert to come to the school and really teach the students how they could create their own graphic novels.
I could teach them how to structure a script, like the way a comic script is, which from an educational standpoint, I think is a really powerful tool, because they've got to break things down into dialogue, they've got to break things down into what you see and what the narrator says in the caption box. And it actually is kind of like those graphic organizers that they get, you know, in language arts class, but they don't really see it that way. They see it as like, this is how I'm going to do a comic. And so they've got to think more deeply about that structure.
It's a way for them to be engaged in writing, and they don't even know it. They are writing, they are using a lot of images, but they are also thinking about what they are going to say.
My story was basically about a real situation in life that I had it to come from Mexico to here, and like the main part like of the story is like me saying goodbye to my mom.
It's surprising to me always that the students that you think of as the lower achieving academic students, the kids who traditionally don't get the great grades, the ones who sometimes have behaviors, end up almost immediately taking to the project in a way that just flips the script. They're the ones who are making the best drawings. They're the ones whose characters are more fully realized. They're the ones whose imaginations are like they're drawing outside of the lines, and they're coming up with really cool ideas right away because they're not inhibited. We're all on a level playing field.
There are a fair amount of students who start out feeling really unconfident with what they can make, or are reluctant, or say, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and by the end of the class they've actually really produced something that they're proud of.
I felt like uncomfortable telling a story like that. And eventually, after I started like drawing, I was like, oh, it was like a good way to cope.
I thought mine was gonna be like a simple story, like okay story, but I impressed myself.
We've had a lot of opportunity with teachers who have interacted with our resident artists, who have gotten job-embedded professional development that is priceless.
The reason we call these primary facial expressions is because, like primary colors, we can mix them together to make other expressions. I pretty much set the teachers up as students and teach them the things, that I teach the students, and then we follow that by discussions of what they felt they could do with it, and also how they can apply it to their curriculum.
We're bringing these kind of amazing people into the school for the students, but also for the teachers to learn from. I hate to use the word authentic because it's so overused in education right now, but it makes it authentic, it makes it relevant.
We're always looking for ways to bring the community into the building to share what's happening with our students. And so this just opens the doors for parents, grandparents, community members to come into the building and see some of the great things that are happening in Bradley Beach.
I want the audience, the parents and stuff, to know what it is their kids are really learning. We had 2 groups of students read their comics.
It seems small, but for a group of 14-year-old boys to actually be talking about their classwork and what they were doing and that they liked it.
Seeing the joy of every day coming home, and it was just kind of neat to see her just so excited.
I want to be looking forward to coming to school every day. I want to hear back from the kids that they told their parents, like, oh my gosh, guess what I did in school today that I've never done before.